The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me okay. And the way we can check that before we get started is if someone can, or if anyone can raise a hand, that lets me know that you can hear me speaking. Awesome. So go ahead and lower your hands. We know that when we call for feedback, it wasn't just for the sound check. Good morning. Today is March 11th, 2021, and the time is 9:01 a.m. Welcome and thank you for attending the State Board of Unlicensed Psychotherapists stakeholder meeting via webinar today. Before we get started, we would like to introduce the staff members from the Division of Professions and Occupations that are present. My name is Darcy Magnuson, and I'm a regulatory analyst with the division. Also attending is Elena Kemp, who is a regulatory coordinator, and we will be facilitating the stakeholder meeting today. In compliance with the governor's orders regarding COVID-19, the division has transitioned to a platform that is 100% virtual, and we appreciate your flexibility. As many of you have been to DORA stakeholder meetings before, we would like to reiterate the importance of your comments today. DORA makes decisions every day that may affect your life and your business, so your input is vital in the rulemaking process. Throughout this process, our goal is to create regulations that clarify and explain legislation, ensure minimum competency to enter and continue to practice, and provide only what is absolutely necessary for consumer protection without creating unnecessary barriers to the marketplace. Your input will be part of the information that goes to the board as it considers adopting revisions to Rule 1.6a to implement Colorado House Bill 191129, which prohibits mental health care providers from engaging in conversion therapy with a patient under 18 years of age, and revisions to Rule 1.16 to correct language that conflicts with portions of the statute in Section 1230.115 of the Colorado Revised Statutes in Colorado Senate Bill 20102. This meeting is being recorded and will be posted on the website by the end of the next business day. As the stakeholder meeting is held solely by webinar, please raise your hand by using the hand icon if you would like to speak, and we will unmute your line so that you'll be heard by everyone. Or you can type your comment in the question function and we will read it out loud. Before we start taking comments, we ask everyone that anyone providing comments that you please state your name and who you represent. Feel free to provide either general comments or on the rule changes or specific comments on the proposed language. Please limit your comments to no more than 3 to 5 minutes and try not to repeat something that was already said. Stating you're in full agreement with someone else works just fine and will be noted. If you are using audio through your computer, please remember to put any phones on vibrate or turn them off. And whether you are using computer or phone audio, try to keep background noises to a minimum when speaking. At this point in time, like I mentioned, if anyone wants to provide any comments on the proposed changes to either Rule 1.6 to implement House Bill 191129 or 1.16, which is the correction to the implementation of Senate Bill 2102 regarding the required disclosures. Now is your chance to do that for this information to be given to the board as the board considers it for possible rulemaking. And I also wanted to note for the record that Raina Sparborough-Gordon is also present with us. She's the program director for the Mental Health Board. I'm not seeing any hands raised, but we'll stick around for a little bit to see if anyone has any feedback or is in the middle of typing any written questions or comments. And while we pause, since we're showing 1.16, and we talked about the conflict, what you can see now, you probably don't have the statute pulled up with the rule, but what is in rule in subsections E and S is verbatim from the statute. So thank you, Elena. So to make sure that there isn't any confusion there, any conflict with what's in the law. And then I understand that usually in the mental health world, you use the term client and not patient. And so there was some discussion about changing that to patient in the rules, and we've changed it back to patient to be consistent with statute. And when I say changed, these are just red line changes. Ultimately, the board gets to decide what is adopted, which will happen at the rulemaking hearing, and we'll tell you the date at the end of the meeting. I'm not seeing any raised hands, and we haven't received any written comments or questions. So I'll wait until 9:08, and then we will, if we don't hear from anyone, we'll go ahead and wrap up the meeting. Okay, we do have a raised hand. Pam Mills, you are unmuted on our end. You're currently self-muted, so Pam Mills.
Okay, there I am. Okay, thank you. I would have written my question, but I don't see that on my computer. I'm an unlicensed psychotherapist in private practice, and I'm wondering about the law that's going to get changed that says we cannot work with anybody under the age of 18. Can we do that as long as we disclose that to the parents and the parents sign something that says, I understand my child is under 18 and this mental health therapist is going to be working with her? I give my complete permission for that.
Are you talking about the prohibition on conversion therapy with minors?
No, I thought it was, hold on here. I thought not conversion therapy. Is that what it was, what that was about? Because I thought the way I read it, it was for all unlicensed psychotherapists, that we were no longer going to be able to work with anybody under the age of 18.
I am not familiar with what you're talking about. I can certainly look into that and talk to the program director as well, who's on this call. But this particular meeting today is about the implementation of House Bill 191129, which is the prohibition of conversion therapy on minors. And so that's the first rule. And then the second rule is the implementation and correction regarding Senate Bill 2102, which is the required disclosure to patients, clients based on sexual misconduct.
Okay,
so I'm not sure that
I thought as you were I thought as you were scrolling through, I saw the thing about working with people under 18, and that's what my email said also, that this was okay, to include, okay, conversion therapy. Got it. Thank you so much, because
no problem.
In my email it just said that we under 18. It didn't say anything about conversion therapy. Thank you so much. I apologize for taking up your time.
No worries. Alrighty, thank you.
And I'll unraise my hand and I'll mute it again.
Okay. Thank you. We received a written question from Jody Molina. Am I able to have access to this webinar after we complete? And yes, you will. It will be posted on the board's website. If you go to public notices, so you go to the Unlicensed Psychotherapist website within the DORA Division of Professions and Occupation website, and under public notices is where we post everything about rulemaking. And under that section, you'll be able to see where you can access this webinar. And it should be posted by end of business tomorrow. Okay. I'm not seeing any other hands raised or any other written comments. So with that, I will go ahead and proceed, and Elena, interrupt me if you see anything on the webinar. Thank you for participating in today's meeting. The stakeholder comments and program recommendations will be presented to the board prior to the permanent rulemaking hearing, which is tentatively scheduled for April 16th, 2021. That concludes the stakeholder meeting, and thank you again for participating. Please remember that you're always welcome to submit written comments as well to Dora_DPO_rulemaking at state.co.us, and those comments will be provided to the board in addition to any comments received during stakeholder meetings. So at this point in time, we are going to end the webinar.